Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content. We saw Arizona roll over Wisconsin today. We saw Purdue beat up on Alabama today, who hit 19 3-pointers, right? Out of those two teams who kind of look like they're probably the best two teams in America right now, who was more impressive to you on this Saturday?
Right now, I'm going Arizona, and the reason being is not only are they big, but they have so many different people that can just go nuts on a given day. Today, it just happened to be Pele Larson, who we thought was kind of going to be third, fourth, fifth fiddle, depending on who they were playing and what night it was. No, Pele Larson takes off, has 21 points. They're still well-rounded. They just have so many freaking weapons on that Arizona team. And the fact of the matter is, Wisconsin was playing about as well as anybody else in college basketball. Coming over off some big wins, they were able to slow the tempo. They couldn't slow the tempo against this Arizona team. So many guys on Arizona can take over the game for a 3 to 4 minute stretch. And when something goes wrong with one, you just throw in another card. It is unbelievable how many weapons Tommy Lloyd has. Right now, in my mind, they're the number one team in college basketball.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing that was most impressive to me, T.O., was that if you look at Kylan Boswell, Pele Larson, Caleb Love, they combined for 51 points, 18 assists, and 12 rebounds. Just 3 turnovers between the three of them, and they were 9 for 17 from 3. That's as good of a backcourt as you can find in college basketball this season.
Yeah, and they put 100 points on Wisconsin. Wisconsin couldn't do anything. It's you know what? Everybody, you can sit on defense, say defense travels this, that, and the third. Not really that many teams that can go into a power conference place and then score 100 points against somebody like a Wisconsin who likes to slow it down so much.
Are you worried about Wisconsin, T.O.?
Can I ask something first? Can I ask something first? Is Pele Larson related to Pele, the soccer player? I thought it was Pele Larson. I'm very confused here who we're talking about, T.O.
Well, it depends. You say Pele, or you say Pele. It depends on what part of Sweden you're in, but we could go for that. We could go for that. What do you think, Pele?
I'm just making sure. You're the expert. Hey, you're the expert here. I'm just trying to figure out how to pronounce his name.
No, Pele Larson. Pele Larson. Right. You can do it however you want, Jeff. You can do it however you want, Jeff. It's your world. I'm living in it.
For those that are keeping track at home, we made it exactly 3 minutes and 36 seconds before Goodman cut in without having the audio get thrown to him. So, Jeff, let's. I think everybody here knows 3 things about you: that you're in Charleston right now, your daughter goes to Indiana, and you are an Arizona alum. So, let's talk about your Wildcats, man. How impressed were you?
First of all, to our city, Charleston, URI, big game tomorrow. But yes, my Wildcats were damn impressive. This is a team that I didn't even have in the preseason top 25 up until probably September or October, when I had lunch with Jack Murphy in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he was raving, the assistant coach for the Wildcats, how good they were, how good Caleb Love was, how much that he kind of embraced his role. And we see that now, right? He's not hungry all the time to get his numbers, to get his points. He's actually guarding at a high level right now, which is very different than he was a year ago at Carolina. And I think, honestly, Tommy Lloyd is a big reason why. I think at Carolina, he could do whatever the hell he wanted, and Hubert never pulled him. Where at Arizona, you've got other players that if he's not doing what he should be doing, you know what? You throw in Jaden Bradley, because what's Jaden Bradley going to do? He's going to guard. He's tough. He's going to get to the basket. You can have playing time over Caleb Love, and I think he was humbled a little bit by what happened last year as well. But this is a team that's got balance, man. They've got experience. They guard, which they really didn't do at a high level the last couple of years. They were okay the last couple of years, but now they're really, really good on both ends. They're like a top 5 offensive and defensive. I don't know what the numbers say, but I would say they're like top 5 or 10 in both areas right now.
They're both top. They're top 5 in both. And Keyshawn Johnson adds a lot to that defense too, like switchability, just general toughness. And then you have like KJ Lewis, who's a freshman, but he brings some physicality. I like the point about Jaden Bradley, and being able to hold Caleb Love accountable and actually doing it are 2 different things. And that's something that Huber didn't do it in North Carolina because there wasn't a whole lot behind him in terms of having an immediate scoring punch. Arizona has that. And we thought we'd be able to see an efficient Caleb Love this year. We're starting to see that. I thought he was terrific today as well.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if there is a team in college basketball right now that is better built to make a run in March than this Arizona team is. They have multiple guys that can go and create their own shot. They have multiple playmakers that can make something happen for somebody else. They got shooters all over the floor. They have a 4-man that can guard any 4-man in college basketball. They have a 5-man that they can run offense through if they need to. They have guys off the bench, KJ Lewis, Jaden Bradley, the Krivas kid, the freshman. They can go 8 or 9 deep if they need to. And the biggest thing for me is I think what we saw last year against Princeton, Jeff, was that they couldn't guard on the perimeter, right? Like they can get exposed if you had people that could pull them away from the basket. Well, now if they need to, they can put Keshad Johnson at the 5, and they still have a team that is going to be a lockdown defensive team. I don't know if I don't want to say that they are like clearly the best team in college basketball. I'd probably have them number 1. I think they're the top of a tier that is like 6, 7, 8, 9 teams, whatever you want to go to. That said, I think that if I had to pick a program right now to win the national title, if I had to go to BetMGM, our partners, by the way, to go pick someone, a future to win a national championship right now today, I think it would be Arizona.
The difference, too, as good as Tubelis was offensively, he gave up what he scored. He just did. Like playing him and Balla together did not work defensively. Now, as you said, you replace him with Keshad Johnson, one of the best defenders maybe in the country right now. So, again, they've got enough dudes who can score. And Keshad is a guy that, honestly, nobody's going to guard out there in the perimeter anyway. You don't have to run anything for him. He's going to get open looks from 3 because teams are going to sag off him and dare him to make those shots. And other than that, he's just going to go get him. He's going to get him off the glass. He's going to get him in transition. So those other guys, again, Pelle Larsson, and Boswell, honestly, right now is a top 5 point guard in the country. He is, in terms of intangibles and everything he does, toughness, leadership, all of it. Boswell is a top 5 point guard, period, in the country.
All right, I want to flip this real quick to you.
The entire team, 26 assists to 7 turnovers. And here's another thing, too. Never discount the fact that you grab a guy in Keshad Johnson that's coming from a winning program. And not only just a winning program, a team that made it to the national championship game. Like he understands winning stuff, and he played a role at that previous spot too, to where they didn't necessarily run a ton of stuff for him. He was just like this toughness utility guy. He just fit in seamlessly at Arizona, who understood like, hey, playing 2, 6, 10 and above right now in today's game isn't going to work all the time, but the puzzle pieces fit. I've always been a big puzzle piece guy. The puzzle pieces fit at Arizona, and there's depth to go along with that.
All right, I want to ask you about the puzzle pieces at Wisconsin, because this was the second time that we've seen the Badgers go on the road and get completely blasted. Right? They lost by, I think it was 13 at Providence. They were down by like 30 in that game. They lost by 25 today. Is this just T.O., we'll go to you first on this one, Jeff, you weigh in too. Was this just a result of them, running into a buzzsaw here? Is there something to be said about Wisconsin away from the Kohl Center? What do you make of this performance, T.O.?
I think today was a buzzsaw, but I also think that the type of game that they play isn't necessarily geared to come from behind. So if you're able to get up on them 10 points, it can slip away from them in a hurry.
Yeah, and it was I think it was 23-23. I think it was 23 all, and then Arizona went in a crazy run. And then you're right, they're not built to come back. And they are the type of team that plays so much better at the Kohl Center. And Mikhail's a big home court advantage right now. It's a big home court advantage. And you've got, again, athletes, big, strong, athletic dudes for Arizona against, let's face it, Wisconsin is not the most athletic team in the world.
Thank you for watching The Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.